All right, I hope this works. I don't know if this shit is gonna work or not. I'm having a bit of audio problems, but we fuck it, we ball. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Y'all just don't get this from me. I've been trying to work with this shit. But anyway, again, different location, same mattress. This is Nightmare Baller One, and this will be a Dominion review, a rant about just a lot of different shit with this show, a lot of different shit about the state of New Japan Pro Wrestling. In terms of pro wrestling, I'm really just going to focus on New Japan. Most of this Blue Moon Extra will be New Japan. And then some other things in my fandom. Really just one thing that won't take long, but it's going to be that also really grinds my gears for you motherfuckers that care. If you like to hear me rant about geek shit and games and stuff like that, stick around at the end. Anyway, Dominion from Osaka Joe Hall happened this past weekend. On paper, it looked like an extremely strong show. It looked like one of the strongest shows New Japan Pro Wrestling could possibly put on paper. Here is the thing. I think is the dirty little thing that people like to say about New Japan Pro Wrestling. I think there's a lot of people that overreact about things when it comes to New Japan because they harken it back to the Omega, Okada, Naito, Nakamura era, right? And we're just not there anymore, and I've come to accept it. All I really want from this company is something well booked, logical, and makes sense in the grand scheme of things of what you built. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. That's all I ever want from this company. If they give me that, I don't really complain too much because a lot of times the high-end matches, while they may not deliver to the degree of the greatest matches of all time, they usually deliver to the degree like, holy shit, that was a great match. Or holy shit, I really enjoyed that. Or holy, you know what I'm saying? There's good fucking wrestling in this company. And when it hits still, even still to this day, nothing hits me in the world currently like New Japan Pro Wrestling operating at its best. Goto's title win, his title defense against David Finlay, Omega and Gabe Kidd at Wrestle Dynasty. Just when it hits like the Best of Super Junior final, when it hits like that, I don't care about any other company in the world. Nothing hits me like New Japan Pro Wrestling. Keep in mind that I said that too. But let's get this card that I was very excited about. I was super excited about this card. I'm gonna go down the whole card. First match on the show. We're not gonna talk about the Young Lions. A lot of fun. All those matches are kind of cool to see throughout history. To kind of oh, this guy might be something. This guy might be something. This guy. It's really cool to do that all the time. I think Mirashima might be something. The chunky one. I think it's a lot of fun. I think he shows a lot of fire already. He might actually end up being something. But let's start with the opener, man. Let's start with the House of Torture. Sonata, Ren Narita, Yujiro Takahashi, and X versus the Bullet Club War Dogs of Drilla Maloney, Taiji Ishimori, Clark Connors, and Chase Owens. So, Evil has been going on the road to shows to this, building up X. X is somebody we'll never expect. X is this big name. It's just fucking bad luck Fale. It's just bad luck Fale. It's just bad luck Fale. That's it. All this pomp and circumstance for bad luck Fale, who's now known as Don Fale. Okay, fine. I'm not even that upset about that because, on the totem pole of things to be upset about, he's a part of it, but he's so low on the totem pole. I will get to all the other things I'm upset about. The match is nothing. It's typical House of Torture shenanigans. Actually, no. Actually, this match really wasn't a whole lot of House of Torture shenanigans. Only the end with the big swerve. Chase Owens turns heel and joins the House of Torture to silence. Because how could you possibly care about Chase Owens at all, let alone in 2025? I'm saving my rant for a second, but holy fuck, that's the theme of this show. Like, who wants this? Who wants this? Who wants this? Who cares about Bad Luck Fale or Chase Owens? How can you possibly care? And then I'll save it. I'll save it. I'm trying to hold it in. I'm saving it because it's gonna be the brunt of what I talk about. Then the next match you had TMDK, Zack Sabre Jr. and Oiwa versus El Phantasmo and Shota Umino. It was a match. It was fine. It happened. Who cares? Next we had Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Yuri Uemura. It was cool. It was fine. Tanahashi's really been working hard. You know he's physically shot. You know he can't go the way he used to. Obviously, clearly, one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. Can't go like one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. It's cool. But he tries really hard, even with his limitations. So it's cool. Like, you know, it is what it is. I imagine this match was just to set up Uemura getting his win back in the G1. I'll talk about that too. So that's fine. Good piece of booking there. Didn't bother me. Next, the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title. We have the current champions of Master Wato and Yo versus Sho and who was supposed to be Yoshinobu Kanemaru. No more holding in the red. Let's start here. Kanemaru comes out in a sling. This is the House of Torture. You know nothing's wrong with him. You know nothing's wrong with him. He announces that I have a tag partner that will replace Kanemaru. And it's Doki. You know what annoys me about this? Before he got injured, he was a face. The fans were starting to get behind him. It looked like, holy shit, you stumbled across another star in the junior division. Another face in the junior division. Why turn this dude on his first night back from injury? If you want to do this later, fine. If you want to do this because maybe his return didn't work out how you thought, fine, bro. Fucking fine. If you want to do that, then cool. But as of this moment, they cheered because, holy shit, Doki's back. A guy that you successfully made last year. That's the thing. That's the narrative I want to talk about. The narrative that I want to talk about is that New Japan has made nobody in the past year. They did. Dominion just unmade two of the people they made. Dookie was Doki. He's Dookie now. Doki, they made him in this past, with that junior title reign, it made that dude. It made him seem important. The fans started to get behind him and he just got injured. You know what I mean? If this was the plan to turn him, you know what I mean? You need to abort mission, but after this first night back in the company, it's like they probably had this plan for the middle of the year to turn him, but if you abort, he's just coming back from injury. You made the dude. You made him last year. Nobody wants to boo him at this point. Why would you do this? Why would you do this? Why would you do this with this group? And I'll get to more about this group. I'll get to it. But it's so stupid. It's so stupid because you're finally on the right track. They've done a good job to elevate people. They have. Like, we complained about that at first when Okada left and Ospreay left, but they were making people. They were in the process of doing it. It might not have been in this narrative here. It might not have been the motherfuckers y'all wanted to see because all those motherfuckers are gone, but they were making people. And tonight, and literally, Dominion 2025 unmade all the people that they made, man. That they made, bro. Or two of them at least. Definitely unmade two of them. They win the Sho and Doki win the junior tag titles in, you know, the typical House of Torture, let's cheat. You know what I mean? Now Doki's gonna be doing this too. When we got behind him last year, but now he's gonna be doing this shit too. For what, man? For fucking what, man? Next, tag title match. I hated that match, by the way. Hated the junior tag title match. I didn't hate it the whole way through. I hated it when we got to the stick. It was cool before we got to the stick, where the referee has to lay down and pretend like he has to act like he got shot by a cannon. Anyway, IWGP Tag Team titles. Great O'Khan and Callum Newman versus Tomohiro Ishii and Taishi. I really had a lot of fun with this. I thought it was a fun match. Ain't no problems here. The thing that I think people are overreacting about this show, people calling it one of the worst shows or whatever. I don't even think it was that bad of a show. I just think the message that you send on this show is bad. It's bad. Like the direction of this show in terms of match quality and matches and things like that, I didn't think it was bad at all. I just think the message that you send with the way you book this show is bad. It's fucking bad. It's bad. Yeah, but that match was good. A lot of fun. Seeing Ishii and Taichi win the tag titles, crowd really popped for that. That was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun. Feel good moment after I was kind of upset the match before. Bo No Leg versus Konosuke Takeshita. I was a little disappointed by this. I still thought it was great. Oleg is special, bro. I really like that dude. He's special. One day he's going to be in the WWE and it's going to make me sad, but I'm enjoying why I got him. He wins the Never title. Takeshita did a good job making him look like an absolute monster. Takeshita, since Jay White is hurt, is my favorite wrestler on the planet. He's he does everything well, man. Does everything well. He's a fantastic fucking pro wrestler. I actually think he's the best wrestler on earth. Sorry, everybody loves Will Ospreay, I think. But I think, not saying Will Ospreay is the best wrestler on earth. I get it, man. There aren't many people that have a consistent amount of, let alone good matches, but great matches with Will Ospreay. I get it. The only other person that I think is on that level is the guy I said is the best, which is Konosuke Takeshita. Because Konosuke Takeshita goes everywhere still. He does the world beater stuff like Will Ospreay used to do. It has great matches in so many different promotions. You know what I mean? So yeah, to me, he's the best in the world. My most outstanding, if the year ended today, would be Konosuke Takeshita. Easily. I wouldn't even have to think twice about it. He's fucking amazing. But his match, maybe the best match on the show. I don't know. I thought it was on the same level as another match. Then, now is the time. Evil versus David Finlay in a dog collar death match. Here's the thing. This match sucked. This match completely sucked. Here's the thing, though. You have trained these people that every time Evil is in the ring, his matches will be loaded with shenanigans. Here's the problem. This match wasn't heavy enough on the stick. And if you weren't doing that, it should have been more violent. And it wasn't. It was generic crowd brawling, bro. It was generic fucking crowd brawling. And David Finlay is another dude, is the other guy I was talking about. A dude that regardless of how you feel about him, take your feelings out of it, call it what it is, they fucking made. He was over. Is he as over as Gabe Kidd? No. But to pretend like he was not over, or even still is not over, is stupid. All right, they clearly made this dude. He was in the New Japan Cup final. Hey, guess what? He was in there with Shota Umino, and it still drew a house. It still was more than the New Japan. The last two, you know what I mean, have drawn a house. And one time he was in there with Sonata, and the other time he was in there with fucking Shota Umino. They made that dude. Regardless how y'all feel about him and these tired fucking narratives about David Finlay, they made David Finlay. So shut the fuck up. That's one thing I want to address. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're talking about facts versus emotion. All right? We're talking about facts versus emotion. It's just that simple. I'm giving you facts, okay? They made the dude. And on this show, they unmade everything they did with him. They unmade it all. They unmade it all. He should have beat Evil. He should have vanquished them and sent him to the back because you beat them in the fucking cage match. They won the feud, but the feud still continues. The feud must continue. And I don't understand why when he already beat them. They already kicked them out the group. Because that's how you use the House of Torture. And let's talk about the House of Torture. This is a group that I defended. That I was like, hey, when used correctly, this is very effective. We cannot deny the heat that they, even on this show, you see it dissipate though, and I'll explain why. Because you could not deny the heat these dudes used to get. You could not deny the fact that there was occasion where Evil would just pop a house. Because he was over. This shit was over to those people. Whether you liked it or not, it was over to these people. Here is the thing. Tanahashi, you told me that you had this fucking plan to make sure that wins and losses matter more and things like that. You know what I mean? But on this show, you decide to add fucking 2 new members to the House of Torture? 2 new members to that's what you decide to do? On this show? They're an army now. It does not work if these dudes are an army. It doesn't work. It does not work, bro. Like, this works because it's not like in Noah where the fans cheer Ozawa and he's a cool heel. They want Evil in before in a good way to go away. This should be a band of a few dudes fucking up these matches. And they shouldn't be all over the fucking mid-card. Maybe 1 or 2 matches, bro. But not over the entire mid-card. Now there's an army of these dudes, bro. Like, come on, man. You're killing me, bro. It's not special if half the roster does this shit, man. It's not special, bro. Regardless how you feel about them. And I don't like these matches either. There have been a few that I've liked, but I don't like these matches either. But if it ceases to have effectiveness, like Evil standing in the ring over David Finlay, and there's like an army of niggas around him. It doesn't work. That shit does not work. That if everyone's doing it, then it means nothing. It means nothing, man. And you saw on the show, it get like that match got less and less reactions, bro, because it wasn't violent enough and it didn't go heavy enough on the stick. You know what I mean? And I'm not letting Dave Finlay off the hook here. He reverted back to the guy everyone thought he was before. Instead of the narrative, because he hasn't been that guy. But in this match, he was the guy he was before. That boring dude that didn't really know how to read the crowd and, you know what I'm saying, what to do. You know what I mean? He reverted back to the 2012 David Finlay. He reverted back to the early 2023 David Finlay. He reverted back to the Tamatonga feud David Finlay. You know what I mean? He hadn't been that guy in so long, but on this show, he was that guy. He was he was every fucking tired narrative about him in this match. because what do you do here if you're not gonna do the stick? If you're not gonna do the stick and you're not gonna get violent, what's the point of the dog collar? What's the point of the dog collar? And then you do the thing where he gets choked out, right? And we're supposed to feel, you know what I'm saying, so sad for him and things like that. But the crowd at this point, they just wanted this shit to end because nothing was happening. Look, man, I've defended Evil. I've defended the House of Torture. I actually do think they have a place in this company, but not in this way. Like, they're harmless when it's a few of them in the mid-card, or even sometimes at the top of the card on certain shows. This works on a fucking Dunkaku. This works on a Wrestling No Kun, or whatever the fuck it's called. This works on the final night of the World Tag League. This works on the Best of Super Junior final show when we're getting the final. This is Dominion. This is Dominion, man. This is Dominion. This would be like, them doing this would be like putting Ron Killings in the main event of SummerSlam instead of Saturday Night Main Event. That's what this is. You don't do that here. Not for this show. Not for when the match after this one, you have the two young guys that you also successfully built. You know what I mean? Except didn't feel that way on this show. Didn't feel that way on this show because you devoted 2 hours of the show to these goose, man. To this army of this gimmick. bro. I know I keep saying it, but I don't understand why there's an army of the House of Torture, bro. An army? It worked when it was Evil, Kanemaru, Sho, Dick Togo, and Rin the Reader. It worked. It worked. You had the main event level heavy, the main event level. You had the mid card level heavy. You had the junior tag team. It worked. And Dick Togo, the heel manager. That worked. That worked. Because you know why? You got one heelish guy in the main event. You got another guy in the mid card towards the main event and semi-main and stuff. You had and that was in the mix because New Japan had even at their peak they had a knack of having like maybe 7 or 8 guys that's interchangeable that can always do main events. Evil was in that mix. You could have those type of matches every so often in the main event of like lesser shows and it was fine. You know what I mean? Then you had the mid card guy, the guy like Rin the Reader. You know what I mean? That could do this stuff in like firmly in the mid card, and then you had the 2 juniors mucking it up, being that act that did that here. Now it's so many of these dudes: Doki, Kanemaru, Chase Owens for some reason, Bad Luck Fale, Sonata for what? Sonata. Look. At least with Evil, right? At least with Evil, he was able to get over to these people. He was able with this gimmick, right? Regardless of what you say about it, he was able to get over these people. Sonata just throwing him in this group is just like another body to do this nonsense. Because he's nothing. Because they keep trying shit with him, but no one gives a fuck about this dude, man. No one gives a fuck about this dude. I defended this act, and I do think this act has a place in this company. But this here is too much. This is too much. Like, people always ask me, what's my limit with it? Because I'm always the guy that's like, man, these crowds react to him. Man, some people go see him. But this is the limit, bro. Too many people are in this stable. It is too much. The Dominion was dominated by this mid-card group. Dominated by this mid-card group. That is insane, bro. That is insane. That is insane. Gabe Kidd and Yota Tsuji was disappointing. It was fine. Nice moment with Gabe Kidd winning the title. Cut a good promo. They want Yota Tsuji and him to be like, he said it on the mic. He was like, we're Okada Omega, we're Nakamura Tanahashi and all this stuff. And I'm like, brother, you're just not. I like Gabe Kidd. I think there are times where he could be really great. He was not great here. He was really sloppy. He was fucking up a lot of stuff. Yeah, it was. I liked it. You know what I mean? I don't know. And Yota Tsuji, man, he looks the part. He you know what I mean? He's extremely athletic. You know what I mean? I wish he understood consistently how to do main events, how to work that style, how to get to his stuff. Because like the last 5 minutes of this, thrilling, dramatic pro wrestling, right? Dramatic pro wrestling. It's just he can do those finishing stretches with the best of them, with the best of them. The thing is though, is that it's the stuff before then that he has trouble, like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Kind of like filling in the gaps and stuff like that. Like, I think the person he has the best chemistry with is someone like David Finlay, or ironically, you know what I mean? And like, and him and Gabe had a tremendous match a few months ago. But like, he needs someone that's like going to be a good foil to what his character is. And I think Gabe was too busy. Like, Gabe did a lot of selling in this. Gabe worked a lot from underneath, and it just didn't work as well. You know what I mean? It was good. It was good. You know what I mean? But I thought it'd be better. And I'm sure the rematch they'll have will, blow the roof on the joint. I actually think the G1 final is gonna be Gabe Kidd versus Yota Tsuji. Yota Tsuji's gonna win the G1. That's what I think. You know what I mean? And goddamn it, when that happens, motherfucker, it's time for you to step it up, sir. Time for you to step it up. Like, yeah, he was good against Zack last year. You know what I mean? He had some great matches in the G1 last year. But motherfucker, the only reason they haven't chosen you is because you keep being weird in these main events. Every time they give you a big spot, it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. But I like them both. Obviously, I love Gabe. Really like Yota Tsuji. Yeah. Then the main event. Shingo Takagi versus Hiroki Goto. I actually thought Shingo was gonna win. I was wrong. I don't know how to feel about being wrong. I don't know if we're at the point where Goto's title reign is boring. I don't want to say that. I don't think that's fair. But I think now would have been a good time to make a change because as much of a feel good story as this is, and Goto being a draw and all that good stuff, I don't think he should walk into Wrestle Kingdom with that belt. I don't think a Hiroki Goto Kingdom main event is the best way to use a stage like that because the Wrestle Kingdom, regardless, just on name alone, is going to do however well it does. It did last year. People complained about Shota Umino, but still, it did. The event did well. I mean, it did do well. So, complain all you want about it, it still did well. You know what I mean? So, again, I don't think Hiroki Goto in the main is the right message that you want to send in terms of the main event. That's just me. But if you want to do that, cool. But I think if you don't end it before then, the dream has to die by Wrestle Kingdom, right? Like it's gotta. But all in all, man, I actually thought this show was okay. I didn't think it was terrible. I just think that the House of Torture stuff is, man, like for the first time, like, because I think people always overreact to this stuff all the time because I'm one of those people that whether I like something or not, that's part of the reason why I don't really watch the WWE because like this stuff just don't work for me. But you know what I mean? Like it just don't work for me. But a lot of the times that crowd is into it, so like I don't, I mean, I can't. What can I really say? You know what I mean? But like, and usually the crowd is into the House of Torture stuff. Like they get like usually, but like I think now because it's an army, it's just too much. It's just too much, bro. Like that shot of like how did they lose that cage match, right? And they're supposed to be ousted from the Bullet Club, but somehow they got stronger. It doesn't make any sense. If anything, the War Dogs should have got stronger because they won the feud. How is this feud still going? I don't understand. I don't understand. How did they get stronger? It doesn't make sense, Gedo. Make it make sense to me. Make it make sense. Because it doesn't. It doesn't, bro. It doesn't. Also wanted to talk about the G1 Climax and the blocks and people being really down on the tournament. So just what's been announced. And I can't really blame them, so let's break down the blocks. A block is Hiroki Goto, Boat No Leg, Yuya Uemura, Yota Tsuji, David Finlay, Evil, Sonata, Hiroshi Tanahashi. That's A block. B block is El Phantasmo, Shota Umino, Shingo Takagi, Zack Sabre Jr., Great Okan, Gabe Kidd, Ren Narita, and Konosuke Takeshita. Then we got 4 play-in spots. For block A, Taichi and Callum Newman will have a match to decide who's in the G1. Also, Rohei Oiwa and Don Fale will have a match to decide who's in the other slot for A block. B block, you got Tomohiro Ishii and Drilla Maloney for one spot, and Yoshihashi versus Chase Owens for the other spot. I think that this is a bit disappointing, and my main thing is it's not the people in it. It's that the blocks look too similar to last year. Like it's too many of people, like same people facing the same people. You know what I mean? I think if you would have just kind of mixed it up a little bit more, and people have like fresh matchups, I think people would be like, oh, that's fine, whatever. It wasn't gonna be a whole lot of guests. I thought for a fact, I thought Josh Alexander would be in this thing. Maybe not. Holding out hope for next year, but yeah, man. It does look disappointing. I'm not overly concerned like some people. I do think this tournament will be good. I don't know if it will be like blow. It's obviously not gonna be blow away G1s of the past, but I'm sure it'll be good, man. I'm sure it'll be some good matches here. Sure, it'll be some great matches here. We're getting El Phantasmo Konosuke Takeshita rematch. That was one of my top 10 matches last year. We're getting Takeshita and Zack Sabre Jr. We're getting Takeshita and Gabe Kidd. You know what I mean? We're getting a Goto David Finlay rematch. That's one of the better matches this year to me. Yura Uemura gets to step up and see what's he gonna be. Problem is that this, like I feel like they should pick 2 House of Torture guys for this tournament and put 1 in each block. But the problem is when they're an army now, you can't necessarily do that now, can you? You can't do that, can you? Evil and Sonata are in A block. Evil and Sonata. How about Evil in A block, Sonata in B block? How about or vice versa? They're both in A block. And then you got Rin Narita in B block. Like, come on, man. Come on, bro. Like, it's too many of these niggas, man. That is the theme. House of Torture, too many of them. That's the thing. It's too fucking many. But yeah, man, this shit is like crack, by the way. This is sparkling ice. Grape raspberry. It's like crack. Yeah, but that show, man, that show depressed me, man. Not because it was bad. I think people are overreacting to the quality of the show. Just what it represented scares the shit out of me. And for a company that I thought had been well booked all year, had been on the upswing in terms of the end of last year, even this year, now I'm like, bro, what are we doing? Why did we waste Dominion to do that? I don't understand. I don't understand, bro. I don't think I ever understand. Gedo, make it make sense. Make it make sense. Anyway, it's enough about that. So, I'm about to talk about my geek shit. If you don't care, call it the video. So CEO 2025 was this weekend. CEO is probably the second biggest fighting game tournament in the world for the year. Evo in Las Vegas, and they're probably CEO in Florida every year. I've gone twice. I mean, cool tournament, fun atmosphere. I watched the top 8s for everything that I cared about. Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, City of the Wolves, right? Watched them all. Watched Tekken also. Watched them all. I am tired, sick and tired of people bitching, man. Everyone has the same opportunities. The playing field is level. All that stuff. We all have the opportunity to use the same characters. We all, hold on. We all have the same buttons. Whether you use this, whether you use, hold on. Whether you use this, or whether you use this, we all have the same goddamn buttons. Stop complaining. Hey, you move with this. You attack with these. We all have the same opportunities and the same characters. We all are at the same handicaps. We all have the same fucking resources. Train situations. Don't just train combos. Train how to punish. How to read block strings if you play KOF. I mean, not KOF. If you play Guilty Gear or you play Mortal Kombat. Learn the matchups with different characters. Have your friends do stuff. Practice together. It's time to quit the bitching and let's get locked in. Stop complaining about the latency on the PlayStation. We all go through the same shit. Complain about the PS5 all you want to. Hell, sometimes I do. But we all have to play with that same handicap. It's kind of funny now that Capcom vs. SNK 2 is back, right? It's back and we're all playing it. People bitched back in the day about Sagat, about Blanca, about Hamaru, about all these characters, elements of Geese, like the damage Geese put out. All these characters people complained about back in the day. But guess what? Guess what? It's still a variety of fucking characters that ended up in that top 8. You know why? Because all it is complaints. You learn, you adapt. You learn, you adapt. The only time that complaining is warranted, the only time that merits anything, right, is if it breaks the game. And nothing in modern fighting games has broken the game. It's just that simple. Maybe Tekken. Maybe the offense of Tekken. But again, it makes the game less fun. It makes the game less fun, but it made it less fun for everyone. We all have the same disadvantages. Stop bitching. Stop bitching. Stop bitching. I'll holler at y'all later, man.